Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Coaches Show. I'm Adam Plager alongside the head coach of the Foresters, Jim Catanzaro. The Foresters improved to 5-0 overall and remain undefeated in Midwest Conference play. Well, Coach Cat, a big win against the Lawrence Vikings, 54-7, but we'll talk about the offense, a huge explosion, contributions throughout the lineup. How important is that to just be so balanced right now?
Yeah, it's really great to see a lot of different guys, make positive plays, get in the end zone, scoring a bunch of different ways. It was a good day, and our second quarter was really positive. Obviously, scoring a bunch of points there. Stumbled a little bit out of the gate. We had two things open on the first 3 plays that we didn't take advantage of, and so being able to bounce back and then have I think it was 5 or 6 consecutive drives and in touchdowns. That's exactly where you want to be.
I want to spotlight that a little bit. Just that adjustment from the first quarter to the second quarter, 34 points in the second quarter, the most points scored in a quarter so far this season. What did you kind of see from the group there?
Yeah, we hit a couple of big plays, and that kind of helped with a little bit of gashing. But we had a number of possessions, got the interception return for a touchdown. So that's obviously some free points for the offense, if you will. And I just thought Josh did a nice job at quarterback, just taking what was there. We had a really good beat on what they were doing defensively. We were able to run the ball early and often and for big plays. And with their defense, that was something we were concerned about going into the game because of some of the angles that it was going to provide. But I just thought that, having guys make plays in different spots, kind of all over the field, keep our composure. We probably left, another 7 points on the board when we fumbled in the second quarter. So I think that we could have had in the first quarter, we could have had a lot more points if we just kept doing things we were doing.
Yeah, Josh Gaskell with another outstanding performance. What have you seen from him in the way he's built his chemistry? Normally, you'll see quarterbacks target certain receivers. He's targeted a number of different receivers. How has that played to his advantage so far?
Yeah, he's definitely an equal opportunity thrower. He doesn't care who he throws to. I think that sometimes I get frustrated because I'd like to see the ball go to certain guys. And, Josh does a good job of, taking what's there and moving the sticks and keeping first downs. I thought on Saturday we were able to get him to push the ball down the field a little bit more and take some deeper shots. And that's something that we have in our arsenal with the wide receivers that we have with Langston, T-Land, and AJ in particular. Those guys 15 yards plus are an advantage for us. We just have to hold the pass protection to get there, and we did a nice job of that on Saturday. And Josh is trusting that. He continues to grow with each of those guys. He has a unique chemistry with AJ and Seth Jelovic, having played high school football with him. But also, the work that he's put in with Langston, T-Land the last few years. And, they're all on scout team together, as freshmen, and then they kind of grew into their different roles within the team. And I think that for Josh, he has confidence in all those guys. We'll throw it to Tommy Carberry. We'll throw it to Jaden Barth as a freshman. He doesn't care who's out there. He's going to take the read and the progression, throw it to the guy that's in that spot. And that's on that player to make the play at the end of it.
They spoke about the defense creating some offense. They do so once again. Nick Reek with his interception return for a touchdown. He's done that a number of times in his Forester career. How fun's it been to see him transform?
Yeah, he's a great player and is probably one of the more underappreciated players because of where he plays. He plays that overhang position. And, Nick could play the deep safety. He could play in the box as a linebacker. He makes tackles, sets the edge. But one of the things he does that is underspoken is he takes plays away. Like his athleticism and his ability to be in space comfortably takes away screen game, takes away these other things. And so you don't see it on the stat sheet because the teams just don't run those plays. They see him out there and they take that away. And so that play for the pick today, it was a double pump by the quarterback, and Nick did a nice job of being in the window the first time and then got back into the window after the pump fake. Was able to take, and there was nothing but green grass in front of him, so finishing the play in the end zone for a defensive player. Again, like you said, he's done that before. I think that, one of the best things is he continues to make those plays. He's never satisfied, and, I really appreciate the way that he approaches each game.
Well, we spoke about the balance in the offense. There was a lot of balance in the defense as well this past Saturday. 3 sacks to their quarterback, plenty of pressure to him. What has that defensive line been able to do for your group?
Yeah, I thought the defense, when you see the guys who made some of the bigger plays, you see guys who maybe haven't done that before. You have Kyle Shalati gets his first career sack, and so what's he do? He goes and gets a second one. And then he has another tackle for a loss. And then, you get Jackson Garish getting an interception, and, Trent Brow coming back on the scene with another interception. So you saw that. There was a lot of pressure that, on them that maybe doesn't show up as a sack at times, but it shows up as a bad pass or a quarterback having to scramble for 1 yard. And if they drop back to pass and scramble for 1 yard, I'm okay with that. But I thought that Preston Mosier did a tremendous job. He was fighting a tough battle off that edge all day and really forcing that quarterback to step up into the defensive tackles who were making the sacks. Michael Kelly did a great job collapsing the pocket, and then you saw a guy like Vic Aguirre come in and have a great day as well off the bench. And so just seeing so many different guys contribute to me makes it so we can keep playing all those guys, keep them fresh. And I think one of the hallmarks of our program for the last 15, 20 years is playing a rotation of D linemen. All of them give us equal opportunity to take advantage of an offensive line that maybe gets tired as the game goes along.
Yeah, the depth of the group, as you spoke about, it's been an intangible for this team all season long. How does that also help the starting group when they see players behind them stepping up and making big plays when their name is called?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it allows them to go all out on the plays that they are in there because they don't have to reserve anything for a later play. They can just say, I'm going to go all out, and if I'm gassed, let the next guy come in. I have faith in him to make that play, and I think that our defensive line group has built that confidence through the years. It's one of the positions that I coached when I was on the defensive side. And having Coach Eanes there now as a guy that played for me and knows that expectation, I think you saw a really strong performance from those guys. You see that every week in and week out. And in my opinion, we do have the best defensive line room in the conference, top to bottom. We may not have the one guy that gets the stats that earns them the accolades from, the national media and stuff like that. But, every couple of weeks you see one of our guys on that national team of the week for D3 football, and it might be a different guy every single week. It hasn't been the same guy yet. So I think from that perspective, the depth that we have is the strength of ours. We need to continue to lean on it, and those guys need to continue to play at that high level.
The road trip will continue for your group as you will travel to Grinnell. The first time in a while your group will head to Grinnell. What do we know about this Pioneer team, and how do you continue the success?
Yeah, first time we've gone to Grinnell since 2018. So we literally do not have a guy in the program other than myself and Coach Eanes, I think, that have been to Grinnell before, and Coach Green as a player. So, just getting out there, it'll be another road trip for our guys over fall break. So I'm excited about that part. Grinnell has a really good scheme. They really spend a lot of time trying to get you to line differently defensively. They might be running the same play, but with 42 or 43 different versions of it in terms of what it looks like before the ball is snapped. And so for our defense, they'll have to prepare for a lot of that kind of stuff. For our offense, we're going to see another four-man front this week, which is good for us, but they do some different things, get into a bear front and a shade technique. They've got a really talented defensive tackle, number 98. I thought he was really good last year. I think he's really good this year, playing very physical. Number 22 for them is a really good overhang player. He'd been a safety the last couple of years, moving down into the box. And so I think that their coaching staff has really worked to improve them. On offense, their quarterback's been there. I think he's a senior or junior now, and we've seen him a couple different times through the years. At wide receiver, number 19 is kind of their do-everything guy. And so when you look at their team, they have improved significantly. You can see some things. Obviously beat Lawrence the week before we played them, so we got to see that film while we were preparing for Lawrence. Now we're diving deep into their film now and trying to see if there are some tendencies or things that fit us pretty well.
One last question for you. Big win against Lawrence. What do you take from that game, and what areas of the game do you want to see your group continue to clean up?
Yeah, we want to take the overall success of playing. I think we played 88 or 89 guys in the game. So a lot of guys got their first taste of college football. I think to continue to get some of those guys more reps as we go, that will benefit us. It gives a little bit of sugar on top of the efforts they've been putting into practice to finally be rewarded. This isn't Division I where you redshirt guys and hold them out and things like that. We're going to play everybody. And the fact that we can bring guys on the road and give them a chance to play instead of leaving them at home and watching on TV, I think is a positive. Areas that we need to definitely improve upon. We thought we started off physical, whether it was special teams, offense, defense. We made a few errors, the kind of fog of the brain, getting off the bus, that kind of stuff, that we need to avoid those moments. And then I think that, finding ways we turned the ball over twice on Saturday, and that's, I think, the first time we did that this year, that we had two turnovers. So we need to obviously clean that part up. The nice part is our defense got 4, and so it balances itself out, I guess. But I don't want to have drives end in turnovers. We always want to end the drive in a kick. We punted the first drive of the year, or the first drive of the game, which is, it's been a couple of quarters since we've done that. And so we wanted to make sure that we kind of build upon that, start strong, take care of the football better. That was the one area, I guess, with two turnovers in the game. That was something I wasn't pleased with. And then the other thing we got to clean up, and this seemed, God, I feel like this is the third time I've had to say this year. But every time I say it, we do better the next week. So I guess I should just start saying it no matter what. We've got to clean up some of the penalties. There were a lot of penalties on Saturday that were offsetting type penalties, and so maybe that's not the biggest concern when you're in the game. But there's a momentum piece to that. There's just some behavioral things where we're losing the 15 yards we would have gained in that offset if we don't respond or we don't get engaged and things like that. So our guys, we had a penalty that led to their scoring drive where we stopped them on third down. We get a penalty on the special teams that gives them a first down. They end up scoring. And so for us, we got to get rid of some of those penalties to not extend drives and not take away some advantage that we might have had otherwise.
All right, Forester fans, that's going to wrap up episode 7 of the Coaches Show, as the Foresters will be back in action next Saturday on the road with the meeting with the Grinnell Pioneers.